Today we're checking out what's in my camera bag. Here we go. What is up, my creative family? How are you guys doing today? It's so nice to have you guys back. A couple things just before we get into the video about what is in my camera bag. First of all, thank you to everybody who's been subscribing and following the channel and commenting. It's amazing. It's so great to know that people are connecting with the stuff I'm putting out there, and it gives me the drive to keep going. So thank you so much for that. Second, if you notice the room looks a little bit different, it looks like it's the mirrored image, like the reverse of, it actually is different. I switched the whole room around. I added a couple cool features in the room. I do wanna show you guys that, so hopefully I'll get to that in another video. And lastly, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like if the video helps you, or if you just like being generous, and let's get into what is in my camera bag today. Now, so to be honest, we're actually starting this video off with a little bit of a lie. I've put away a lot of my gear, so I don't actually keep it in my bag, and my bag changes for each shoot I go out onto, but I will go through the most common things that I keep with me for most of the shoots I go on. All right, so let's start off with the bag itself. The bag itself is made by Lowepro. What is the bag? Where would I find that? Where is the name? Isn't there a tag with the name on it somewhere? I can't find that little tag. I thought I had a little tag that shows the model number, but it's a pretty nice bag. It's got a lot of storage spots right in there. That's for, it can hold about two, big size, large size DSLR bodies. It's got a bag on the outside there. It's got a weather seal or weather cover you can put over it. It's got a laptop area on the side here. There it is. Pro Runner 350 AW. All right, so this bag is the Lowepro Pro Runner 350 AW. I'll link it below. Go get it. You don't have to get it, it's not sponsored. Anyways, the two bodies that I have in the bag almost all the time are the Canon C100 Mark II and the Sony a7S Mark I. The reason why I keep the two cameras in the bag is mainly this. The C100 Mark II is sort of like the workhorse camera. If there's an event, like a wedding or a live event or corporate event, 100% I'm gonna use the C100 because it's a workhorse. The battery lasts forever. The cards can record forever because there's two slots. There's also no recording limit. It's got a great screen on the back of the camera and a great EVF. It's just an all-round good camera. It's got a lot of video features on it, focus peaking, waveforms. So if you don't know much about the camera, definitely check it out. I'll leave a link below, but it's a great camera. Even the Mark I is still right now a good camera to use for live events. It's just a workhorse. The other camera, the a7S, I sort of use it like a beauty camera. This is if I really want that full frame bokeh sort of look, and the setting is such that I can change the battery whenever I want, and there's no chance of missing anything. So this is sort of like the Diva, the C100 that I'm shooting on right now. That's like the workhorse. It's still a beautiful image. It just, the difference would be the full frame and the capabilities like that. So those are the two cameras I mainly use. I also use the Canon 70D for vlogging here and there. Again, I'll put a link in the description, you can check that out. It's a good all-around camera. It's got a flippy screen. It's not the sharpest because it's still using the old DSLR sensor technology for video, but it's a great camera to use. So the first and heaviest lens is the Canon 7200 2.8 IS version 2. This is a great lens, especially for weddings and events where you're covering something that you're a far distance away from, or you just don't know what's going on and you want to have that zoom capability. The zoom is amazing. The bokeh is very creamy and very smooth. It looks beautiful. The colors are great. It's sharp as heck. It's got IS. It's just an all-round lens. I mean, I bring this usually everywhere with me, so that's probably why my back is broken, because this lens is crazy heavy, but it's a great lens and I highly recommend it for the price. I think I bought it like 3 years ago, and I haven't even thought of selling it or changing it because I just use it all the time. So this is probably one of my most widely used lenses. The second lens that I have in there that I bring almost all the time is the Canon 100mm macro 2.8 L lens. I know they have another 100mm macro that isn't the L version. That one doesn't have IS, I believe. I don't know, does it have IS? Probably has IS. I don't know what the difference is. I don't know. I like this one. It's just a little bit more than the other one, so I figured why not? It's got IS. With this lens, I can shoot from far and get a really nice image with nice smooth bokeh in the background. I can go up close, get those macro shots. Everything looks really great with this lens. I find myself using this lens a lot for detail shots, or even just for crowd shots, shooting a further distance away and getting that great look of having people in distance with a nice blurry background. It looks amazing. IS helps a lot too for video, and the 2.8 is great for low light. So the next lens I almost always have with me is the Sigma 50mm 1.4 art lens. It's a great, well-built lens, really smooth focus ring, great sharpness, great color. I've never had any problems with it. I use it for a lot of things like bride prep, where 100mm might be too far and 35 might be a little bit too wide. It's a great, 50 is a great all-around focal distance. So it's a really great lens to have. I use it all the time. It's well built and it's lasted, so it's been really great. And the last lens I almost always have with me is the Sigma 35 1.4 art lens. This lens is again a great focal distance for street stuff, or if you're in a tighter area and you want to get that a little bit wider range, but you don't want it to look too distorted. 35 is still a good range. It might not be the best, like, you know, beauty sort of range, but it's still a good range. It's great for groom prep because a lot of the time you don't know what's going to happen and you don't want to be in too close, and 35 gives you that room. A great 1.4 is great for low light. And it still gives you a good look on faces and for details. It's not too wide or not too distorted. Again, it's a very nice lens, well-built lens, great sharpness, great color, great focusing ring. Nothing bad to say about this lens at all. I use it all the time. A little side note or bonus is the lens that I'm using right now, I also carry with me. I don't use it that often, it's sort of more specialty, but it's a Canon 14mm 2.8L version 2. And I'm using it on the C100, so it kind of gives a little bit of a wider but not too distorted kind of look. But if I put it on the full frame Sony, it's nice and wide. It'll give you that really immersive feel in large crowds and just cover everything. It's a good look. It's a very specific look, but it's a nice look. And 2.8 is great in low light. Sharp as heck. It vignettes a little bit at 2.8, but if you're going to use for landscape or buildings or scenery, and you stop down, it's beautiful, sharp lens. Pretty much no distortion as well. So it's great for buildings and for landscapes where you have those lines and you just want them to continue nice and straight. So let's get into some of the audio that I carry with me. If it's a live event or a wedding, I'm definitely gonna take the Zoom H5. This is great. It's got XLR inputs. I can dial the levels in separately depending on what I'm recording. It's got a headphone jack. It also has the stereo mics on the outside for general room or ambient recording. This is great for Foley sound. If you're going on location and you want to grab some of the natural sounds in the area. It's an all-around great recorder. I would definitely recommend anybody keeping one of these if you're doing a lot of stuff where you need to plug into DJ booths and grab audio from it. It's very great. Another piece of audio that I recommend would be the Zoom H1. Is it the H1? Yeah. I don't know the names of any of these things. It's crazy. It also has the stereo microphones on the end, so you can get great natural sounds. It's very good. It's got a couple of modes on the back, so you can dial MP3 versus WAV files, low cut filter. You can dial in the input level exactly to what you need. It's got a mic input and a headphone jack. I use this a lot with lavalier mics, so I'll put a nice lav on somebody, hide this in their pocket, so then I have a backup. But yeah, you know, for the price, I don't know why anybody wouldn't just have one of these in their bags in case they need it. It's really great if you're gonna be needing audio at any time. Last piece of audio gear would be the trusty Rode VideoMic Pro. A lot of people have been using this mic because it is great quality. It's great for on-camera audio, especially if you're vlogging and you need and the audio source is very close to the camera. If the audio source gets further away from the camera, this mic becomes less effective, so just remember that. But it is a very high quality mic. If you're outside in a noisy environment, it does sort of block a little bit of the ambient sound, and it is directional to pick up the exact sound that you're looking to get. So other than the camera bodies, the lenses, and the audio gear, I have a few other things to help me on set when I need it. Things like gaff tape, lavalier microphones to plug into the recorders, spare batteries, spare memory cards, lens cloth. Thank you guys so much for stopping by. If you enjoyed that video, please hit that like button. Hit subscribe if you want more videos. I'm trying to post as much as I can, maybe 1 or 2 videos a week. There are gonna be more tips, more tricks, lots more stuff planned. I'm so glad you're able to join me, and I'm so glad we're building this community together. Thank you guys for stopping by, and I'll see you in the next one.